blocking the light of the sun. Now, I don't know if that's a real one, but that's something what Lawrence is saying. You know, enough, enough, enough. Okay, I can appreciate your great artistry. Okay, he doesn't like museums, 27. If only we would realize and not tear things from their settings. Well, natural things. Museums, and they are wrong. One must have museums. Let them be small, and above all, let them be local. You know, not like these big museums that you trudge through, like the Louvre or the Metropolitan. And after a while, you get so tired and bored, you can't even appreciate what's there. It's all lined up in these great halls, one thing after the other. Finally, if you go to a museum, you really only have to go to see 1, 2, 3 things, pick out a few things and see them. Otherwise, you start tearing through them like you're in a track meet. Because you want to get out and have your coffee or the light of the sun. But you're afraid to tell anyone that's how you feel. Because that means you're just a Philistine, a plebeian, insensitive person to art. It isn't that. The art stultifies you. You can't appreciate it. Give me a little museum, except with 1 or 2 things, and okay, fine. Now, there's something into what he says, you see. I think you will agree. And he's prepared to say it. Okay. It's a relief, page 36, to think that even the slaves and the luxuriousness of the Etruscans had their remains decently stored in jars and laid in a sacred place. Apparently the vicious Etruscans had nothing comparable to the vast dead pits, which he already alluded to previously, outside Rome, beside the great highway, in which the bodies of slaves were just promiscuously flung. He says it then again. What I've been telling you is his message. It's all a question of sensitiveness. And here's a man who is fully masculine, as you can see, but he's sensitive. Brute force, overbearing may make a terrific effect, but in the end, that which lives by delicate sensitiveness. If you want to pull out his messages here, I'm pulling them out for you. Page 36. If it were a question of brute force on a single human baby would survive for a fortnight. It is the grass, again Whitman, in the field, most frail of all things that supports all life all the time. But for the green grass, no empire would rise. Okay, it's getting carried away. No man would eat bread, etc. Hercules, Napoleon, Henry Ford was the big industrialist, like back in those days, would alike be denied existence. Brute force crushes many plants. Anyway, and before Buddha, the pyramids. What's the pyramids compared with the daisies? And before the Buddha or Jesus spoke, the nightingale. Here's his environmental sensitivity. And long after the words of Jesus and Buddha are gone into oblivion, the nightingale will still see. So this is a total pagan, isn't he? He's a modern person too, this flower child. Because it is neither preaching nor teaching nor commanding nor urging, it's just singing, like Whitman portrays it. And in the beginning was not a word, but a chirp. Anyway, because the Romans took life out of the Etruscans, because a fool kills a nightingale with a stone, is he therefore greater than the nightingale? Not he. Like, remember I told you he wrote an essay on the death of a porcupine in New Mexico? Rome fell on the Roman phenomenon with it. Italy today is far more Etruscan, Tuscany and so on in its pulse than Roman. It will always be so. The Etruscan element is like the grass of the field with the sprouting corn. Well, you see, he sees it here. Now, he's going to get deeper into it in the next page, 29 here still, I think. Or he gets into I guess he's in a museum. And he sees the navel and all these things he's looking at. And they hold the patera or the mundum, a saucer with a raised knob in the center. So now he's going to tell you about the symbols. It's a round saucer that is being held with a round knob in the middle. You'll see it in a lot of the paintings, which represent the round germ of heaven and earth. It stands for the plasm also of the living cell with its nucleus. See, and he just knows it all. I don't know how. Which is the individual God at the beginning, which remains alive and broken to the end. The eternal, here's the word quick. Quick of all things, which divides and subdivides, so that it becomes like the goose we were talking about, the sun of the firmament, the lotus of the waters, and so on and so forth. So, you have to read that yourself, I can't do it all. Each created living thing has its own unfailing quick. So within each man is the quick of him. When he's a baby and when he's old, the same quick. No one ever used that word as far as I'm aware of, never has since. Some spark, unborn, undying, vivid life electron. And that is what is symbolized in this patera. That's what it means, he tells you. Is he wrong? I don't know. He didn't read it in any guidebook. He's probably not wrong. And so on. Okay, you can read those pages. Let me go on here. Let's go on. Okay, so that's the end of that section. Page, I guess, 42 or 43 here. It's useless to look in Etruscan things for uplift. If you want uplift, go to Greek and